someone in the Bleacher Report chat, I've said this a couple times, I think they described it perfectly. The most meaningful, meaningless game I've ever seen.
Fair enough.
Am I wrong? I mean,
No, that's a fair assessment, man.
considering this is the first season we've had in 18 years without a franchise quarterback. So we got these three guys, Trubisky, Rudolph, and Pickett. And we are all legitimately on pins and needles coming into this game, seeing how they're going to perform.
Yeah.
And they perform pretty good overall across the board. And I'm sure we'll get into the details a little bit later. But then also to have the guy we drafted in the first round from the University of Pittsburgh. You talked about the standing ovation, how the city's all behind him. Have
Former
two touchdowns
teammates in the building too,
have
man.
two touchdowns,
Yeah.
played really good in his own right, and then also have the game-winning touchdown basically as time is expiring. What, it finished off in like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Shout out to who the hell did he throw to? I can't even remember.
I think it was Tyler Vaughns.
Yeah, nice little dodge of the defender and getting in the end zone there because we did have one timeout left at least. We were gonna kick the field goal, but yeah, I think the offense. Pickens. Come on, man. I mean, do we need to say anything about him? Offense played good. I think throughout the whole game. I mean, we ended up with what 34, 35 points on the board.
Something like that.
How can you argue with that? It was just the defense gradually waned throughout the game. I liked how the starters looked for the most part. Miles Jack was out there. Keller Witherspoon, unfortunately, he got injured. I think he's going to be all right, though. He made a nice tackle. But then we just looked like Swiss cheese right before the first half ended and then all throughout the second half. But I guess we made the play when we needed it with the minute left. Mark Robinson getting that strip sack. Overall, it was a fun game. Fun preseason game. Going back to what I said before all this, I mean, that's the perfect description. The most meaningful, meaningless game I've ever seen.
That is a fair depiction of Saturday. I like that, man. For me, man, initially, in terms of, well, not even initially anymore, but now that I've had a chance to go back and watch it a couple of times, still love this team's finish. I thought that was the one thing that I left out of the stadium thinking about. One of the things that rewatching it on tape, I left feeling that even though it wasn't always perfect for any of the units out there, and all the units offensively and defensively and all the various starting second and third groups, they all had different adversity at different points in times. But all of those units found a way to overcome that adversity. All of those units at various points in times had to do something that we hadn't always seen from them at times. Starting with the quarterbacks, talk about, just with that first unit with Mitch, him having to come out there, the first quarterback to put on that jersey as QB1 since Ben Roethlisberger. There's expectations with that. We know that, along with you not being the favorite, because Kenny Pickett, we know that's the fan favorite. So Mitch Trubisky and that offense handling that situation. Mason Rudolph, him having to come in, getting booed initially. Then the first play he's in, there's a strip sack. But what do you see him do? 2 plays later, he responds with the throw of the day, or the throw of the night.
Dot.
So it's like, man, you see him handle that adversity. Then when I think of Kenny Pickett, well, we talk about Kenny. He got a standing ovation as soon as he came in the game. They were booing the other quarterback in front of him. His teammates from college were in the end zone. Like, when you talk about the Kenny Pickett jerseys, I mean, dude, you might be seeing more of those than any other jerseys out there because he's that loved. He's that. I
think he's top 10 in jerseys legit across the league right
Absolutely. Now. So when you talk about everything that came with that part of it, to see him still be able to go out there and be focused and be able to lock in and not have the moment be too big for him. And he had some adversity as well, getting beat up a little bit with some of the rush that was happening. It was still just good to see that all 3 of those dudes were able to rise above. All 3 of those offensive units. When you talk about the protection up front, all 3 of those units had good plays and some really bad plays at times. We talk about the different receivers. Then we take it to the defensive side of the ball. I don't think that it was necessarily them getting carved up. I think it was a lot of, well, I'll change that. The last unit for a fact, like that last D-line unit, that was not a good unit right there. That was definitely getting,
that's what we were seeing a lot in the third quarter.
Yes, they were getting moved off the ball a lot. Really absolutely. But I did think that as a whole, though, with the defense, the communication just needs to be better. I thought as they got out of that first unit, communication started to break down, and you saw a lot of linebackers chasing. But we'll break that down also as we start diving into it and talking about these guys in particular. It was not always the person that you saw chasing. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
I didn't think Bush played that bad.
We're going to talk about it. I'm just, because it's Devin Bush, Robert Spillane, Mark Robinson, and Buddy Johnson. Those are the ones that are kind of super under fire right now. And some of it is rightful. Other parts of it is kind of like, nah, when you go back and look at the tape, it is not, as what y'all trying to paint it to be and stuff like that. But that's why they come here, man, because we'll get a chance to talk about that. Because today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. The leaders in below the waistline grooming. And we were just talking about ball security. Well, hey, you want ball security, ladies and gentlemen? Manscaped. They are the ones to give it to you. All right. And how do they do that? Well, that Lawnmower 4.0, the new thing. I'm talking, waterproof, light that you can turn on and off. It's a safe situation, low and slow. Make sure you don't get any nicks and cuts, nothing like that. I mean, it's a dope little vibe. I mean, I personally like it a lot. I'll tell you, man. Strobe light it if I want to. Sometimes keep the light all the way off and just spotlight me. All right. But either way, if we're going to talk about them for a reason. Because we got a promo code for you, ladies and gentlemen, and that promo code is MOATS. You use that on your purchase at manscaped.com. You will receive 20% off of your purchase along with free shipping worldwide. Deke, who doesn't love free shipping, bro?
I'm not sure.
It's like they're going to send it to you, Deke, but you don't got to pay for it. It's free shipping. Like, how do you beat that?
I don't know. I think insane people don't like that.
That's all I'm saying, man. So don't be an insane person, all right? Make sure you use the promo code MOATS. Get your 20% off at manscaped.com. And when I tell you, your dangly twins will be very appreciative of you, trust me on this, because I'm an expert. All right. So with that being said, shout out to Manscaped.